We're live. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. If you're in Britain, you're sweating.
Immensely.
Ooh, it's muggy.
Fan blowing me.
Ooh. I haven't got I should have got a fan in here, but you'd have just heard it the whole way through the video. Hi guys, how you diddling? Matt, Harris.
Good. It's
Doing
weird
well.
being here on the Tuesday. What's going on?
Well, I was going to come on my own and just chat to you lovely people in the comments, but I thought I'll ask you guys if you're free, and you are. So,
I ate my dinner so quick. Like you messaged,
Yeah.
I was eating my dinner.
Dinner or breakfast?
I weren't talking there at all.
No, I didn't mean to do that, man. I'm sorry. Kerry, how you doing? Brett Builds, you're new and we love you. Sue Hobson, but what's that? Backstabber Al Postas, good name. TQ Batman's in with us. Is anybody else in with us at the moment? Marco, say hello, sir. Right, so, right, okay. It's been quite an interesting day. I'll put it that way. Matt, you dropped me that video from Brian J. Smith where he actually says,
I need to call you out on something about
what?
The video you posted. You kept calling him John.
Because did I?
Yes, and you kept calling him John.
That used to be a Labour leader. Well, you don't know the J doesn't stand for John. The J might stand for John, bitch. You don't know.
His name's Brian.
Did I really keep doing it? Oh, I'm such a knobhead sometimes. You know what? That was a video done at 7 o'clock in the morning, very, very quickly. So,
yeah. Someone sent me that video on Discord last night, so I watched it this morning, and I was like, "This, we need to like get something out about this because this is gold." This bit he says.
Yeah.
So I sent it to you.
And then I call him John.
And you called him
John. Knows what he's talking about, though. John was a clever boy, and he was always my favourite on the show. John was great. He's there. John smithing it. John Smith is like the most common name on the planet. Shut up. No, nobody has gone in the comments and pointed that out yet.
I know. I looked in the comments. I was hoping someone would say it, but no one did.
There will be dozens of comments now.
Well, comments help, and I stand by that. I make one deliberate error every single video, just to see if you guys pick it out and realize.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so John said that he was asked about whether he would return. I said that on a joke. That was a joke. Brian said, and he was asked, would he return to Stargate? He said, oh, God, yeah. He was actually talking about SGU in particular and whether they do a movie. And then he said, I know they're doing a revival. He says a revival or something. He actually said they're doing lots of different things, which is really what I wanted to talk about, because if we're going to get... He actually then said...
that quote if you want it.
Hit me.
So he said, listen, we're all cryogenically frozen out there on Destiny on that spaceship out there somewhere in the cosmos. So, I mean, if it's kind of teed up for someone to do a movie or something where we could finish off that story. And then he goes on and says, I know that they're doing another Stargate, like they're kind of reviving the franchise a little bit, and they want to do these big, huge movies. He said a lot of ums and ahs in between that, but I cut those out because professional.
Well, I think the ums and ahs were because he was a little bit... I think he might have felt a little bit on the spot, and he was just... I almost wonder whether halfway through he realised he said too much.
I think, well, I don't know. We were talking about this a little bit at the beginning of before the pre-show. I think all of this is a little bit too coincidental to be accidental, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's so many interviews going up. David Blue did an interview. We'll talk about that a little bit in that now he's done it. Robert Carlyle obviously was in the same interview. He mentioned a load of stuff. I didn't actually quote anything on Robert Carlyle on the 9 Chevrons post. I probably should. But they're all basically... It was David Blue and Brian who basically said that they know something is happening.
Yeah.
Which is why we made the article. I honestly just think it's a little bit too coincidental that they both happen to go on podcasts or these shows and say these things whether it's a slip of the tongue or not, or Freudian slip or whatever you want to call it, it just seems a little bit too like, you know what you're doing. You're prepping us because you're going to announce it in a month.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Harris. You might have an opinion on this, but I don't know if it's like on purpose, like basically MGM saying to them, if you get asked, or actually, they, when they do these interviews, they might even be told, you can ask about Stargate. Would you ask about Stargate, please? Because that happens all the time.
That's more along the lines of what I think it was.
Yeah, possibly. Or is it just that industry wide, this is the worst kept secret out there at the moment? And just, I mean, I'm getting to the point now that I talked to 11 or 12 people that work in and around the thing, and they're basically saying, yeah, it's a movie. They're working towards it now. It's happening. That's it. I don't know whether that's because of Deadline. I mean, Amazon talked to Deadline. They told Deadline 2 months ago, we're thinking about doing a movie.
Yeah.
What do you think, Harris?
Well, that primes reporters to talk about it. So if it's not like the studio saying, hey, if you're talking to these kind of people, maybe you should mention this, they're probably referring to the Deadline article. I guess we haven't heard them like specifically refer to it, so that might be like, well, maybe they are just getting like talking points from an agent, a producer, an executive somewhere along the lines, because they are talking about their own shows that they're going on. Robert Carlyle is Full Monty or something like that, and I don't remember what Brian Smith was doing, but
the class of '96 or something, something like 95. Something.
Okay,
looks like a cop show or something. I've not seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one with him and Kate Mara and somebody else. But yeah, I would think that obviously they're going on these things to talk about those shows. They want to be talking about those shows. That's what's airing, and that's what is getting them paid and getting them fed right now. So that's what they want to be talking about. But if the bigger thing that will feed them longer will come across, I guess, in the interview, they're going to be happy to talk about it. I'm sure that's like, if anybody, it's their agent saying, hey, maybe mention SGU a little bit.
Yeah,
it might be as simple as that, and
yeah,
just primes all of us a little bit more. I guess each bit. It might not be something conspiracy, but
get your name out there. This is going to happen, and you know what? We want to position you to maybe get a role. Because I'm telling you what, I was told months ago, David Blue has not been approached about this. I've been told a few names that have, a few that I can't share, but Amanda Tappin, Michael Shanks, and Robert Carlyle apparently been unofficially approached. And David Blue said actually specifically they don't want to approach him. Apparently on social media and stuff, he's a bit, I don't follow him on Facebook, but I follow him on Twitter. But apparently he says some things occasionally which are a bit, I don't know what that means because I've not looked into it, but
I don't know. I do follow him, but I've not seen anything that's problematic. But no, in the case of Brian, I mean, even in the case of David as well.
Yeah, mate, his name's John.
Okay, in the case of John, Brian, John.
Middle name might be John. You don't know.
It might be. Who knows? In the case of either of those actors, they both mentioned in both of their respective interviews that SGU was their first regular role. So I guess talking about it's Jacob. Did you say?
Middle name's Jacob.
I guess for them talking about SGU is kind of like, well, this is what kickstarted my career. I want to go. I would love to go back to the thing that literally kickstarted my career, because David Blue was an actor before, but it was only a recurring character in, I think, Ugly Betty, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then he only became a series regular. His first proper gig when he became SGU. Have you watched the entire interview, by the way, for David Blue? That was a really good interview.
Oh yeah, long, but I watched. Yeah,
it was long.
It was
fascinating. Like 70%.
Yeah, stuff about like talking about Brad Wright, stuff that used to go on behind the scenes and things. I find that fascinating. It's stuff I've heard before. That this thing about how he watches the actors and Very interesting. Gone Fishing's made the point because why would the actors at FedCon say something very similar? I would argue actually they did. I don't think they mentioned movies, but all of them talked about that they think this is coming back. I think Amanda Tapping was very cagey on purpose because I think she knows a lot more than she wanted to say. And this is at the moment they are being told not to say anything. But also, I mean, their agents are approached a lot of the time. The actor doesn't always know the ins and outs and the details of what's going on. The agent is the one that talks to them and then tells them when there's something concrete. So
yeah,
that's also a possibility.
I mean, there are agents that might be playing around. Like the actors might not know all that much, and they might be the ones like priming them in the interviews as well. They might be priming the actors just as much as they might be priming us, just mentally, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an agent's job in a lot of ways. It's get you prepared for your role and get you the good ones. Mm-hmm. If you can get people to start talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, and another big announcement today, by the way, Amazon, they've literally today announced that they're going to be dropping. Well, they're going to on Freevee. They're going to have a bunch of dedicated Stargate channels. I think it was 6 dedicated Stargate channels. The last time they announced this, it was done within a couple of days. The channels just appeared within a few days. It doesn't say when. It doesn't say which districts. But this is in Germany, Britain, France, and America, I believe, Freevee, and maybe 1 or 2 other countries. But I'm hoping everybody gets it. I think Freevee's pretty much standard, I think, across the...
Yeah. 23 new Roku style fast, free ad-supported streaming television channels. 12 of the channels will be drawn from MGM, based around Stargate and the Outer Limits. I've never seen that. Is that any good?
Yeah,
I don't know if Brad Wright worked on that.
The Outer Limits is also rumoured to be coming back, but that comes back every couple of years. It gets cancelled and comes back every few years.
Futurama style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If anything, Stargate is Futurama style right now.
Which is kind of makes me happy, but
because it's about the same time, isn't it? Didn't it like stop airing like a decade ago?
Yeah. That with
so SGU was like 2011.
I think Futurama stopped the first time, or maybe it had stopped once before then. But I remember at least either the first or the second time it like stopped was 2013. So it's like right in that same era because it started 97, 99 kind of range,
something like that. Yeah.
Seems like the perfect kind of decade of sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about David. I might think David Blue said this. I have watched the full thing, but I think that's what David Blue said, isn't it? And why the fandom gets so mad. And then he talked about that sometimes we eat ourselves from the inside out, which I thought was quite a descriptive way of saying it. SGU, there was definitely a kickback from SGU. It got cancelled because of MGM going bankrupt, basically, and then Sci-Fi not wanting to foot the bill, expensive show. But also there was a little bit of... It was a bit more complicated than David Blue talked about, because there was also the thing about for the 3rd season, they had to redo everyone's contracts. The price was going to go up. There was the Canadian dollar was very strong against the American dollar, so that was forcing the price to show. Basically, it was just a perfect storm of everything went wrong all at once. Mm-hmm. But there was definitely a kickback to SGU. There
I think what he said about when Atlantis got announced as being cancelled, and then they put SGU in the same article. He basically alluded to the fact that gave fans the ammunition to say we hate SGU because it cancelled Atlantis, when that was, from his point of view, that was never the case. Atlantis was always getting cancelled anyway, and they were just at the same time just trying to announce a new show.
Yeah,
I can kind of see it. I can kind of see that, because I'm pretty sure I read that article back in like 2009, whenever it came out, and I was like, so they're cancelling Atlantis for this new show. And that's what I thought reading it. So it did come across like that.
Yeah. Sue is going to ask Amanda for us, so that'd be great.
If you can get a video of her saying "Welcome to SciTrek," your sci-fi TV and movie channel as well, and send it to us,
I'll send you a
use that as our intro.
I'll send you a t-shirt. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Just wear a SciTrek t-shirt. I'll send you one and get the photo with Amanda tapping. That'd do me. So Sue, get in touch. No problem at all on it. You can have a site that's SG one.
That goes to anyone who meets anyone from Stargate. If you can do that.
Yeah. He did actually say though, Brian, that I can't believe he did that. But anyway, he was talking about movies. Now I've always said that when Amazon first started talking about this, they wanted to do they were using like Marvel and Star Wars as like a blueprint. That always gets people angry. They're like, I don't want anything like Star Wars, nothing Disney. but I don't mean it like that. I mean they're using it as a blueprint of movies and TV series and maybe games that all influence each other, that all, that one affects the other sort of thing, which is something we've not really seen a lot of before Marvel started doing it and then Star Wars did it. So movies would work on that, but I've never heard anybody say to me more than movie followed very quickly by a TV series. That's all I've heard up till now. What do we think about this? And it is the title of the video: movies for Stargate.
Look, if what Brian said is true, and they're looking at doing big movies, like they're expecting them to be like, I'll be happy if they're big, they're spectacular, and they do well. Great, more Stargate's going to come. So that's literally like I have nothing else to say.
Maybe they're planning a trilogy.
Maybe.
That seems like the most plausible, honestly.
As long as it's not the original trilogy from Roland Emmerich, Dean Devlin, as long as they don't go down that route, I'm happy.
Would I be crazy if I wanted that to be made, but like not part of Stargate at the same time, just be its own little like?
Something else.
No, I have said this before. I did want to see how it played out, but
I still love fun campy beats.
there's that risk if they make it and then it flops, which it will because it's going to be crap.
It could hurt the actual Stargate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
honestly, bring up the Stanley's point here. The guy Malcolm Reed, the Dominic, I think is his name. He is very, very strange.
Is that the British dude?
Yeah, he comes across quite eccentric on the Shuttle Pod podcast. Every time
I'm not a Star Trek person. I'd never seen the guy before. I thought it was Rush for a second. I was like,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. He's a very strange fella. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And Malcolm. But a lot of actors are. What were we saying? Sorry, I just saw that point and just thought it was interesting.
Movies.
Would we be happy with a trilogy if it means we didn't get a TV series?
No, I'd rather them do a movie.
I didn't like the caveat at the end there.
Yeah, I want a series because a series you can dive way more into. You can get a way bigger story and you can have an arc that goes multiple seasons, and it's just what we're used to and what we enjoyed about Stargate to begin with. I want a movie, kind of, because it would be big and it'd be spectacular and it'd be exciting. But yeah, I would take series over movie any day. If they scrapped the entire movie plan and just give us a series, I'd be like happy as Larry.
Well, yeah, I feel like a TV series is the best, but a movie might fit with certain properties within Stargate better. Like I think Destiny, if they're going to go find Destiny, that needs to be a movie. That does not need to be a TV. They don't need to take a season of television to do that. They don't need to take half a season of television, a third of season of a television show to do that. That might be better to do in maybe not the first movie, but like in a second movie, and then have the third movie like interact with Earth again, and that's how you get back, and then you can have a couple different like starting points. I feel like, honestly, a movie feels more acclimated to SGU. I feel like SG1's had a couple good TV movies, and those are always fun, and that would work. It would work for SGA as well, but
I was thinking about this SGU movie idea, right? And I've always said they're not going to do an SGU movie. It wasn't popular enough. But whenever we do videos on SGU, they always do really, really well. Always. I think two of our top 3 videos we've ever done are SGU.
Yep.
New videos. And the only one is maybe Firefly, I think is the other one. So, I mean, they always do really well.
I think the reason is, like Firefly has a cult following way after the fact of it being aired. Stargate Universe kind of had that as well. It wasn't very popular when it was on. I mean, it was. There was millions of people that enjoyed it. I was one of them. But there was obviously the people that didn't like it. But since then, I think this is something that David Blue said in his interview actually as well, that there's millions more people who have enjoyed it since it's not been on the air. And I think that's why the videos that we do, and particularly on Stargate Universe, do so well, because the people who are just discovering Stargate Universe want to know what happened to Destiny. Is there a season 3? Like, what happened to Eli? What happened to all of them? Oh, hey, what happened? And then they'll search and they'll find our videos. I think that's the reason, because so many more people have found it.
Aaron,
I'm having issues. Kick me out real quick.
come back in a minute.
Popcorn.
It's like when somebody knocks the door and you go, come back, I'm having me tea. Come back in a minute.
Popcorn just had a really good point. SGU stands up better over time, which I think has always been what I've said.
Separating it from SG1 and SGA is what it needed.
It was way ahead of its time. If it had 5 years in between Atlantis and SGU, it would have done way better.
See, I don't think it was ahead of its time. I think it was like literally perfectly timed, and then the perfect storm to take it out just happened. It just happened to happen at that time, because literally, it ended in 2011, 2012. It ran, I think, 10 and 11 were like the seasons it aired, or years it aired. What else came out in 2011 that changed the landscape of TV? Game of Thrones. After that was the Expanse and a lot of other things like that. It changed. I don't know if Stargate Universe is the thing that changed the landscape of TV, honestly. But
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what you're saying, mate.
But
Welcome to my job.
Welcome to my job. Well, one day we can.
Right.
So Harris, go on.
No. Oh, I'm ADD. Hold up. I'll get right back to it. Oh, Game of Thrones stuff. So like literally, where Stargate was like, Universe said, we have to change the campy fun aspect of it, which we all still love the campy fun aspect of things. The landscape of TV was changing, like literally at that time, and I don't know if SGU was like the thing that did that, but it brought that era, I guess, into grounded, more realistic television, that gritty, darker television. Because literally everything before that, everything that was popular, obviously we're in nerdy circles, and if at that time it was like Smallville or something like that, but everything where it had some grit to it, it was all quote unquote campy still. And every TV show afterwards has been very different. And
everything the CW has ever done, other than Arrow, has always been, we are happy family friends and we can save the world if we just believe in ourselves.
They got
I wouldn't say Supernatural was like that. Supernatural was pretty dark.
Yeah, Supernatural. Okay. I tell you what,
I love the Flash. I love all of those, but that's the one thing I hate about it.
Is the fact that SGU is kind of controversial, though, another reason or another strength for why actually it might make sense to bring that back as the first movie, because it would cause people to speak.
Yeah, it would, definitely, 100%. I mean, I can see the headlines now. The show that killed Stargate is back. People would literally write that article, but it would get people watching it.
It would,
and then they'd go, "This didn't kill Stargate. This is amazing." Ugh! And then they'd all like punch themselves in the face because they knew they were wrong.
Aaron, we'll ask. Yes. Thank you so much for turning up, mate. But there's a lot of noise.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where do you work, by the way, just out of interest?
I work at a tire wholesaler in the warehouse. Lots and lots of tires.
So we know where to go when we need our winter tires.
Yeah,
yes. But I will not be covering the overseas shipping.
Okay. Damn it.
What about West Coast shipping? I had a flat tire 2 days ago.
But I'm going to drop you out if you don't mind, mate. But I'll thank you so much for especially while you're still at work. But it's really loud.
Oh, here, I'll fix that. 1 second.
Yeah, you're muted. Okay, yeah, and then when you've got something to say, come back in. Brilliant. That's a solution. I like it. Right, so I'm wondering whether the controversy might be a bonus. I think that it's it just adds to the thing, and definitely in the social media age, it just adds a bit more to it. But
I just need to comment on that. He doesn't smell funny, but when he goes home, he's always tired.
Dad joke. Good one for the dad joke.
That was quick too. I like it.
Yeah, very good, very good. But also, I would argue that the SGU storyline maybe is a bit more like what we're used to on TV. Except I would say I think there's a big nostalgia thing going on at the moment. First of all, it's nostalgia for the 80s. Now it's just nostalgia for like old TVs. It's always been quite popular, the A-Team movie and got every other thing. But it really seems like nostalgic sci-fi is a big deal at the moment, and Stargate might ride that wave of Picard.
They did it with Quantum Leap. They're doing it with Star Trek. They're doing it with, Outer Limits apparently, which I didn't know. But
comes back all constantly every couple of years.
As long as they do it better than Lucasfilm, I'll be happy.
The Alien TV series has actually been properly announced. I saw that yesterday.
The Alien series from Noah Hawley.
Yeah,
I'm just itching for that one. Did you ever
I
watch?
just saw something about was it Paraguayan or Uruguayan director is about to get his Alien movie made. That's supposed to come out like next year.
Paraguay. I know who you're talking about. I think I can't remember who he is off the top of my head. I can Google it real quick, but I know who you're talking about.
I mean, that is supposed to be pretty much greenlit now, isn't it? I think it's been it was greenlit at one point, wasn't it? But then they lose the director, whose name I'm going to forget.
And that's where they got the new guy, I think.
Yeah, they got this new guy and a co-writer. I think they're both Paraguayan, I believe.
It's definitely greenlit now because there was an official poster from the studio,
which is always good when we get a poster. That basically is the green. That's the rubber seal nowadays. Like if we get a poster,
you have to be careful in the SciTrek group though, because
starts with an F. It's like Fede something.
Is it Fede Alvarez? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's him.
Yes. He's done a couple other things that are actually really good. He did a horror movie or two that I can't think of off the top of my head, but he is good. He did Don't Breathe. That's right.
Yeah.
He wrote.
Yeah. When I looked him up, they said horror movie director. That's like his thing.
And he did the 2013 Evil Dead remake. He's got a good place in my heart.
Oh, okay. Bam. I like that because a lot of people didn't like that movie. I like that movie.
I still need to see the new one that's in theaters right now. I feel bad that I haven't seen that one. But that and then
Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, that looks dope. The preview, all the trailers look dope for that.
Harris, you watch 50 films a day. You shouldn't feel bad.
There's supposed to be an IMDb up in here. When Neuralink is a thing, the first thing I'm doing is just downloading the entire IMDb database just right in the back.
You're just going to be sitting there.
Just download all the movies, Nobed.
It's going to be sitting there with the movies in your head, smoking.
Anyway, like I said, we were told to go back to Stargate. We were told over a year ago, just before this was announced, we'd get Amazon talking about it. We'd get a load of news reports talking about it. We'd get the actors talking about it. So I put a poll on the channel a little earlier saying, basically, do we think, guys, this is basically Stargate open? Or is the Stargate still closed? And at the moment, after 498 votes, only 70% are actually confident that this is basically it, that we're just on the precipice of the announcement. 30 people
is good, considering most people think I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and to be fair, we've been disappointed so many times.
Yes, someone in these comments here, I saw it. I don't know who said it. 1 month until we can be disappointed again. I get the mindset because we might, and hopefully we don't. But that is unfortunately the state we are in.
Look, we had rumors. At the end of the day, Brad Wright's script got destroyed by COVID. Just did, and then this sale, and Amazon weren't so keen to go with Brad Wright's plan. And then we thought maybe it would get announced around the anniversary last year, but really that was just based on a couple of people going, it would make sense if we know they want to do it. And actually, even in marketing meetings, that was because I one person I speak to gets her ear in a lot of he or she, could be he or she. She gets a lot of They get their ear and a lot of marketing meetings. So, and the marketing team were going, let's just announce something. It doesn't have to be that, we'll just announce that, we're thinking about it. And the executive's like, no, can't say anything. So And then we thought maybe in January. But again, that was just based really on we thought it made sense to announce it. And a couple of people in and around were going, it would make sense. But they didn't do
What
it.
I'm looking forward to is
It did make sense.
The shuttle
Honestly,
pod, or whatever they're called. What are they called? Is it called the shuttle pod?
The
Shuttle
shuttle podcast or whatever.
It is called shuttle pod, isn't it?
Yeah, short pod
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, shuttle pod. Yeah.
The one the Eli was on? Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, they've got I don't know if it's next week or week after. They've got Brad Wright coming on, and I'm looking forward to that because that might be telling.
Yeah, it is. 23,000 subscribers. We have 23,000.
That'll be dope.
Right now. We get between 100 and 200,000 views a week. The channel is doing very nicely, guys. But yes, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all that business. Share the video where you can. If you know a Gator fan that isn't following our channel, let them know. Because we want to get to 50K so I can get tattooed live on air. I might not do it live. But,
Oh, you have to do it live. That'll be the most fun.
yeah, but you've seen a grown man cry.
You won't cry.
Multiple times. Mostly myself, but multiple times.
Dude, like crazy. I've got a tattoo that got quite close to my nipple, and that was the only time I've actually gone, don't like it, because it felt like it was cutting my nipple off. It was quite painful. But
I can feel that now.
So SciTrek tramp stamp, right?
yeah, I'm gonna tramp stamp SciTrek. Yeah,
There we go.
the logo. I'm probably gonna get it on my arm, but or I might get it on a buttock. Who knows?
What you should do is in between, just so you've got, say these are the cheeks. You need it a Stargate here, so
like an open.
so you can open the wormhole.
Give Shelly her orifice.
And then make sure you eat something spicy so you get the full effect of when the gate opens.
You can tell
Every time you have a burrito.
All blokes in this bloody thing. We really need girls in this. So anyway.
Chevron 7, we're not engaged. Ah!
So Andrew Chandler's had an interesting storyline. So would it be 18 months from announcement to broadcast? If they get a cinematic movie, announcement to cinema would be at least 18 months. They could 12 months is possible, but it would be more likely to be 18 months because
the only caveat there would be like if the script is ready and like all they got to do is just make sure actors' contracts work out, get them all timed up right, and then just go at it.
Yeah. I would actually say probably 18 months from when filming starts is more likely. Yeah. So I mean that could even be 2 years from announcement. To be fair, because it can take at least 6 months to do these things. So if it's a series, nowadays 12 months. It used to be 2 or 3 months. They would be filming and the show would air within about a month of filming, but that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, I know that pain with The Flash. Season 9 film last year, I saw all the set leaks and I'm like, just want to see it. It's the finale. I need to see it. And I had to wait a whole year.
Yeah, it's because of the CGI and stuff nowadays. Man.
Just with that mindset, would y'all rather, whenever a show does come back, whether it be after the movies, while movies are going on, but prior to a movie, if we're lucky, whatever it may be, would y'all rather it be that, like, of course, selfishly, like, I'd love Stargate year in, year out, but it could take the Game of Thrones, it could take the Stranger Things route, where it's streaming every other year, and they could give us something really, 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 really sweet.
So my opinion on that would be, as long as they can deliver something good.
Mm-hmm.
If they can do it every year, fine. But if they're going to need to take an extra year to make sure it's good, to make sure this, like, maybe the budget needs to stretch like another year, just to make it as good as it can be. Kind of like what Stranger Things is doing. We have to wait. I think it's now like 2-3 years for season 5.
It's usually about 2. Mm-hmm.
That's not just because of filming, though. That's because the actors are stupidly busy. They weren't going to do another season, were they, at one point, and then they decided they're going to do another season, and they reshot everything, and so there was lots of reasons why it's going to be so long.
And the bigger problem with Stranger Things is it got really popular in lockdown when nobody was working. So they'd already filmed
And all the
season
kids
1
were
and 2.
still aging.
And they were all season 1.
Yeah.
The season 1 and 2 was already on Netflix, and then I think just after lockdown they did season 3. Might be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, basically. But then they all started doing movies. They all started doing other things. They doing their.
Millie Bobby Brown is doing absolutely everything at the moment.
Yeah.
She's just everywhere.
Finn Wolfhard's he's not doing as much, but he did a few ones, and then now he's directing. So 20-year-old out here directing, teach me. I need to learn how to do that.
This year 2000 makes a really good point there. That's I was told that's what they're going to do. That it'll be movies and series that, like say, influence each other, and that one builds on the other, and it'll be like chapters in a book. Was the way I was explained, but very Star Wars, and the way Star Wars are trying to do it at the moment, even though they keep effing it up. But I'm getting.
If they're smart, they'll do what Marvel's been doing lately, which is they'll be filming the movie, and then once they're done with that set, if it's a common set, they'll use that. They'll start shooting scenes for the TV show or what have you. Marvel's been doing that for the last few months.
Yeah, we spoke about that. A guy I was talking to, he doesn't know this is what they were doing, but he said basically it sounded like that's what basically they were going to try to do, was that they will have one set or one sound stage that they're going to basically film both on, and the actors would be crossing over like crazy as well. But then it's a way of keeping the costs down, because the costs is going to be important. They have to keep the costs down. And this is one of the points he was trying to make. He just said, look, I know these budgets don't sound massive. And he was talking about 90 million for the movie and then maybe 6 million per episode for the series. But he says, but a lot of those costs come initially. A lot of those costs come from getting the actors on board, getting all the contracts sorted, and building sets. If you can sort of shift costs between the two, and they do this because they fiddle. I'm not going to say they fiddle the taxes, because that would be libelous. They're very careful to minimize taxes. And that's one of the things they do. They they move money around. So there's
fancy business accounting.
Yeah, we're going to put a cost on the movie and get the budget down on the series, because that's going to cost us a bit more. And then
what they'll do is they'll get those French dudes who've made the really big Stargate.
Yeah,
they'll buy that off of them, claim it as an art piece. Don't have to pay tax on that, and then use it. I bet I would, if they're smart.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
because it is art, but they can make it functional. Oh, actually, no, it's already functional.
It's enormous, isn't it? Well. Not in that it can generate a wormhole to other stars, but yeah, it spins and lights up and everything. But yeah,
From the general, I say it should spin.
Yeah, let me ask you guys just straight up: if you had to scale it, like we'll do the chevrons thing, and we'll only do 1 to 7. Matthew, I know you like doing 1 to 9, but 1 to 7 chevrons. How confident are you that we're going to get an announcement either at San Diego Comic-Con or within the next couple of months? I actually think it'll much depend on when the writers strike. I think it'll be after the writers strike, personally.
I'm going to say 6, because then
You've always got that.
Because it's literally it will or it won't. So 7 will engage or it won't engage. Like we all hope we've got the right address and it's going to engage.
Yeah.
I like
you, Harris?
I'd go 5 out of 7.
Pessimistic.
For that same, I'd go dial it back to 6, just kind of that teetering there. But I'd push it back to 5 because honestly, like we were just saying a minute ago, I bet you they were going to announce stuff way early this year. And the reason they didn't wasn't because, we want to do it at San Diego Comic-Con. It was they knew the writer's strike was coming. And they knew about it and were thinking about it way before we ever were, We do get things. We get nice rumors quickly and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't compete with the actuality of like the industry. It's always moving, whether we're talking about it on a stream or not, So I'm thinking I would at least, assuming makes an ass out of you and me, but I'm assuming nonetheless that they were ready to announce, and they've probably been ready to announce, and they're just really waiting. And that kind of pertains to what they'll do, I guess, because it would be nice for them to be able to cut cost and put like a show after a movie or a TV special after They film a movie like Aaron was talking about with Marvel, how they do like now they're doing like Thunderbolts and a little TV thing. Or they did Guardians of the Galaxy and a little TV special, and they're doing a couple things just for saving a couple bucks. If they do that, it'd be nice if they did that and I guess prepared like almost 3 years ahead. But I just don't see that happening right now with all the writing going on, or writer's strike going on.
Just to see that, San Diego Comic-Con are notorious for keeping stuff secret and having big surprises that no one's expecting. But he's right, and but I do know that MGM or Amazon have got a couple of conference rooms that they booked out. But a couple of other people have booked things like I know Disney had several booked out, and one of the people, a very close friend of the channels told me they cancelled them. They booked 2 or 3, and after the writer's strike thing, they just went. They pulled out. They decided they're not going to do it. Warner Brothers again, they had 4 or 5 things planned, and they've decided not to at San Diego Comic-Con. So San Diego Comic-Con might be a red herring, but I think that was mentioned in the Deadline article. I think that's where we're getting that from, and it's been mentioned to me a couple of times, but only from opinion that people think if they're going to announce it in July, that's when they would announce it. But I just think look at like a bloody news report would do me. But what do you think? 1 to 7, how many chevrons are locked down?
Are we talking just an announcement period or an announcement at San Diego? Because an announcement period, I'm at 5.
Period. Yeah,
I'm at 5 chevrons on that one, just because Hollywood is Hollywood, and I don't trust them completely. But I'm mostly confident we're going to get our announcement this year for sure.
Yeah, I would be amazed if we didn't get an announcement this summer. I'd be shocked. But I think I'm at 5 as well. But not. I would have been at 6 if all this was happening and the writer's strike wasn't going on. I think the writer's strike creates an element of doubt, and executives, from what I've seen, are a jittery bunch.
Wasn't there a deal struck last week though? Wasn't there something like?
No.
Didn't something happen?
I've got
The director's got a deal.
Yeah, I've got a video coming out at 8 o'clock. That deal with the DJ might not be as secure as we think. So I don't want to ruin that video though, so you're gonna have to go watch that video at 8 o'clock. But yeah, it might be about to get much, much worse for the studios.
Ooh, rank and file not down with the deal, huh?
Yeah,
so it's all going to pot.
Well, I'm still going to keep my answer as 6 because I honestly think
so.
As I said at the beginning of the show, I just think this is all too coincidental to be accidental. Like all these people saying all this stuff, like there has to be a reason that they've all just decided to go on podcasts all of a sudden. David Blue has his own podcast, so I can kind of forgive him for going on a podcast because he has Out of the Blue, where he gets sci-fi guests all the time. But then you've got Robert Carlyle, and then you've got John, aka Brian, and then you could have Brad Wright next week, and then I think there was another one. I can't remember who. It might have been David Hewlett, but I don't think it was. Might have been. Oh no, Robert Picardo. Robert Picardo. He's going on as well.
Yeah.
Like I know he's like probably more so Star Trek, but I just think
He's Stargate to me.
Yeah, he's Stargate to me as well. He's always going to be ballsy to me.
They mentioned him yesterday when they were talking with David Blue. They talked about Robert Picardo a couple of times. They mentioned him.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's chin is awesome. Look at Aaron's chin.
Honestly, Ricardo's someone, or Picardo. I said Ricardo. That's my new nickname for him. But he was someone I did not expect to enjoy on Atlantis, and then he ended up being like one of my favorite characters in that season. I was like, I was pissed off, and I was like, really, you're taking Sam out for Woolsey?
Yeah,
it was great. It was
they
great.
Did that on purpose, I swear. They wanted us to hate him, but then they made us fall in love with him. How dare they?
And it wasn't like the first episode too. Like the first half of the episode he was in, I was like, I'm kind of starting to like him. In the next episode, I was like,
portrayed as like just what was he, like a cold like clinical man?
Yeah,
I would say. And then then he showed emotion. You're like, what the hell is this?
I know what you mean.
I was shocked.
He was always one of my favorite. He was always my favorite in Voyager. I remember he posted a picture with it where he had hair, and I actually posted, "Jesus Christ, when did you have hair?" And he replied, "I know, right?" But yeah, I was like,
Ricardo was great on Voyager.
I've tried to get him. I've tried to get in contact with him, and I can't get in contact with him. I'm going to see if I can get in touch with his agent. I'd love.
I've been trying to get
him and David Hewlett. Him and David Hewlett. I would give good money to get them on the channel. I would do anything.
David Blue followed us on SciTrek on TikTok for about 5 minutes. He actually did follow. I wasn't making it up. Like, he followed us. I sent him a little wave, and he unfollowed us.
Sorry.
Look what you did.
I really wanted to just start a conversation with him, try and get him on. But no,
maybe that was the problem.
Yeah,
see, that's where he's getting his information from. Though he's following SciTrek. I actually joked that Brian is probably just a SciTrekker. He's probably watching us. So Brian, if you are watching,
oh my God, there's a guy, brain pain or something, who watches us. Brain pain. Are you here?
I've not seen him.
Dyslexia.
There was a dude, brain pain, because he's. I think he's
doesn't mean it's any. It just means he's got a headache.
Brian, it's an anagram.
I know, and it's secret. But Brian, if you are watching, or anybody from Stargate ever, or if anybody knows anybody from Stargate who's ever appeared on it, I'd love to get dual state or something like that on. I'd adore it. I will give money to charity to get them on the channel, and whatever charity they want. Even though I did get in touch with who I thought, there's a Facebook official page for John Shepherd, and he said, "Oh, you've got to give me money for charity," and he was like beating me up like £500-600, and I was like, this is getting a bit much. And then he said, "But you've got to send it to me directly, not send it to the charity." And I'm like, "But I've got the link for the charity. I've got the information here."
Didn't he want to send you it via Bitcoin?
Yes, he wanted me to send it via Bitcoin, yeah. And I'm just like, piss off.
He messaged me and I'm like, that is not real. That's not Joe Flanagan.
That would not be Joe Flanagan.
No, it was not him. But
I got so excited though. Because you messaged me.
Yeah.
And I started telling my missus, I'm like, we're going to potentially get Joe Flanagan, and we're going to talk to him, and it's going to be amazing. And then and then it turns out to be a bloody scam.
He's a fucking con artist. I spoke to somebody that does know him a little bit, and he says he only ever talks to people. He doesn't talk to people like that. He'll go through his agent. Anything like that goes through his agent. But again, anybody that knows something, please, we'd have anybody on here. Anybody.
I want to talk to the guy who played. His name's Gary something. Gary. He played Walter. What's his name? Gary.
Yeah, I'd kill to get Walter on.
Yeah. Because he does a lot. He does a lot of stuff at the companion as well.
SciTrek says 7 chevrons locked or something like that, and I'd be happy. They do those greeting card things, and you can pay for
Cameo.
We don't know what to say? We should do that. Just get into it. And it's like,
yeah, let's just spend £300 to get someone to say SciTrek.
Depends what sort of
Gary Jones, thank you, Trek.
Yeah. But yeah, I would kill to get David Hewlett on. He replied to me once on Facebook. Actually, I should try and get him on again. He posted a picture of him when he was a kid, like 18, 19 years old. And I said, damn, Dave, you were a good looking guy. And he was just like, what do you mean was?
I've seen pictures of him before when he was younger. And I'm like, is that sexy Squidward? Like,
yeah.
It's literally sexy Squidward when he's younger, Squidward now. That's harsh.
But I said some silly comment and he liked it and took the piss back. But he's such a funny guy. I'd kill to everyone again.
He's always on Nerdgasm.
Yeah, he is. So Brad Wright follows us on Twitter, and so I've sort of tried to befriend him, and it's not going well. But he would never come on. He's linked to Companion and stuff. So and to be honest, I feel bad when I ask him things anyway. But I do ask his opinion on stuff occasionally, and he always answers.
I don't know. If you don't ask, you don't get. I reckon we at some point just ask him straight out. Is it at all possible in the future?
If ever you want to come on, I would give money to charity, whatever you want, and thing, man. At the end of the day, at the moment I give 10% of our earnings on SciTrek every month to charity. Last month it was mine. The next month it's going to be a dwarfism charity because my niece basically suffers from dwarfism. So but every month we give something. So I would more than happily give the entire. If Brad Wright came, I'd give the entire month's earnings, whatever we earn that month, to charity. So
and it will be the best month ever because of that interview.
Yeah.
The interview and the tax write-offs will be great that month.
Yeah. But yeah, anybody.
Yeah, you seem to have bought a really expensive art piece.
For two.
I'm going to buy myself a massive Stargate model. It costs like 600 quid off this guy off Twitter. And I'm thinking, I wonder if I can scratch that off. If I put it in the background and say it's a work thing. So then this big 3D printed Daedalus. It's like
I was just about to say, so for San Diego Comic-Con next year, y'all know I have a 3D printer in my shed right here. We can walk in there with the full ass whatever we want.
Ooh.
Can you 3D print a gold emblem that I can stick on my head?
Yes.
Draw it with gold permanent marker.
Oh, that's crap. I want the actual thing.
Okay.
And can you 3D print me as that Nikitel? And can you also 3D print me a full size Asgard and a Daedalus that works?
If you send me the right whatever it's called, the right code for it, because I don't actually understand how to use it. I have smart friends.
It's BC304.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
But, yeah, no, okay. Then we're 3D printing our dress up game. We are hoping to go to Comic-Con next year, and yeah, we might have to crowdfund me or something, so my wife will let me go. But it'd be amazing. I think it'd be amazing just to come over and meet you, Stormy, meet Aaron, maybe. You know, like say, I think you're a different boss than America, but you and Stormy are pretty close, aren't you, Harris? So
yeah, we're both West Coast.
Yeah,
come to the dark side, Aaron.
That would,
No, trust me. As soon as I can get out to Nevada, I got my best friend lives there. I would love to get out Southwest.
Come on.
Next year. I'd have gone this year if I'd thought about it a bit sooner. Because like I say, if they announced it at San Diego Comic-Con, and I think with the writer's strike, it's a massive. I think they would have done something if, because that's the thing is that they love to announce these things at San Diego Comic-Con. That's why it's the biggest. They love announcing stuff there, and they love doing surprise things there. Like I said earlier,
because it gets clipped and shared so many times.
Yeah,
well.
Oh yeah.
But it's probably the most famous Comic-Con on the planet. So I mean, the studios love going there, and they love, they think. But I just think I'd be gutted if I wasn't there. But next year, I think it'll be just before the movie comes out. So I think there'll be a big Stargate presence. If things go like we're expecting, so I'll just have to take that as a nice second.
So who are we cosplaying as?
Sorry,
who are we cosplaying as?
I'll be Bill because I've got the least hair.
You're not going to go as Teal'c and.
Are you sure about that?
How many of our bald folks go on as Teal'c?
There's one big problem why I can't be Teal'c. Because if I tried to be Teal'c, I would be cancelled.
That was my next.
Yes,
question.
That's true.
You might get beat up.
Yes, that's it. I could be General Hammond. I'll shave my beard. I could be General Hammond.
Yeah, cool.
That would be.
Could be the home Tria guy.
Because when I shave, I don't want to be him. When I shave my beard, I do have quite a baby face, like George does. So.
Yeah. Sue wants to come with us. Sue, you come on. Kerry, you're gonna come down to San Diego Comic-Con. Shelley, everybody, get over. If we come over, Kerry, we will maybe have a stopover in Canada and say hello. Because I'd love to meet Shelley as well. And I'll bring Steve from Stranger Things because Shelley wants to jump him. So my mate Steve.
Fisher says you have to do a Texas accent for him and Matt. I'll train you. Don't worry.
Excellent. Good.
I think I'm about halfway there. Got that covered. Yeah.
I know a couple people that I could put that to. It was the bad thing.
I'm going to go with the Death Glider. I'm going to wear the whole thing that I'll just wear. You can see my head sticking out the top.
That's it. I'm gonna just wear a big cloak and go as Anubis.
Oh,
that's all.
Lazy.
And you watch it be the hottest day of the year.
You just go as a go get a Jedi picking outfit and depending on which geek you come across, I'm a Jedi, or no, I'm Anakin. No. I don't know. Yes, Shelley. Yes, Steve. she's going to break it the best way. But yeah, we'll have to have a chat about that when we come up to it. But yeah, we'd love to. Absolutely adore to do that. Right, guys. I think it's been a really, really interesting day from Stargate point of view. I think we're getting closer and closer. And the thing I'm getting excited about is that because what I was told would happen is happening, and I think that's why I'm so excited and wanted to go live tonight and talk about it again. And I can't wait for Stargate to be on Freevee.
I know. I'm quite excited about that. I can watch Stargate at work.
Well, yeah. Well, I haven't watched Atlantis in years. So I'm really looking forward to watching it. I've got Stargate SG-1 on DVD, and it's the only reason I've still got a DVD player. Is because
I've got them all on my hard drive because I moved them over to a hard drive, so I got them on the Plex server, so I can watch them all at home. But I can't watch them outside of my home, and obviously Amazon doesn't have them without paying for them again, which I'm not going to do. So.
Yeah, but I've been doing a few little videos talking about Atlantis and stuff. So I've been reading up, and I'm remembering all these episodes that I'd forgotten. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot that episode.
There's a clip that keeps popping up on my TikTok from I think her name's like Stargate fan on there, of Rodney like losing his memory, and I cannot remember this episode at all. So I need to find that.
Is that ironic that you've forgotten the episode where Rodney forgot his memory?
It might be a little bit ironic, yeah.
I think that's irony, isn't it?
Now we know who you have to cosplay as.
Oh man, goes Rodney.
Rodney, I could not be Rodney.
I can go as Rodney. I'd have to just let my hair grow a bit, but I could go as Rodney.
You could.
That's
be Rodney.
me though. I'm going with Sam. I'm going to go with Sam Carter, Captain Carter, and nobody can say anything.
I could be Woolsey again.
Yeah.
Keep the beard and everything. You'll be good.
Yeah, I'm Woolsey on a bad day.
Has anybody got any ideas what sort of movie they'd like to see before we go? What sort of movie do we actually want to see?
I want to see him. I do want to see him do a Stargate Universe like rescue. Well, not even a rescue, just a conclusion. I just want to know what happens. Do they
That's the
and all die or what? Like, I just want to know what happens. They don't necessarily have to go back to Earth. I just want something to happen.
Like SG-1 or SGA movie would be really cool, and it would be really fun. But they got their conclusions. SG-1 got a little more than just their conclusion, you know, and not necessarily we weren't necessarily happy like that it's all said and done, but the only thing that didn't get like a finality, like those final shots for SGU are sad because you're just like, wait. Am I going to wait 3 years for like the next season? Like, wait, or what's going on? No, you got to wait forever. We're just
12 years later.
Yeah, legit. It took the 10 years, 12 years.
12 years later.
Full SpongeBob just.
And he comes in with a robotic eye and a robotic arm. So that was
it's like that scene in Toy Story 2 where Woody sees Woody's Roundup. And he's watching the show, and he's like, "Oh, this is a great show. Let's watch the final episode." And they go, "They can't. The network cancelled it." Like, what? It was a great show. It's exactly that.
Yeah, I think so. I'd love to see. I like the idea of an SGU movie. I don't know that one. Shut up, Siri.
I mean, they could like have something to do with Atlantis as well, because that didn't really get a conclusion. Like the Wraith was still a threat. So.
Well, look, Andrew straight up asked, "Will it be a soft reboot?" I was always told, but this was before the decisions were made when Jennifer Salke got involved and started saying movie, and when everyone at MGM was saying TV series, and then just Salke went movie, and MGM went TV series, and Jennifer Salke went, "Oh, by the way, I pay the checks and I'm your boss." Movie, and they went, "Oh, okay, movie." But I was always told it was going to be sort of like a hybrid reboot. Bits would be new, and bits would be revived. So it's not going to be a straight up revival like, say, Criminal Minds was recently, you know, where it was cancelled and it come back, or Dexter was a couple of years ago, and it's not going to be that. And it's not going to be a soft reboot like Star Trek Next Generation was. It'll be something in between.
They did Dexter dirty. proper dirty. Did you
Because
watch
they
it?
killed him?
New Blood.
Or because they killed him.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you
What,
meant
the
they
new Dexter?
him. I
No,
thought
they
you meant
did. They just did him dirty. Like they left it on season 8 as is he like he faked his death. Now he's living happily in like
He's a lumberjack.
or wherever. Yeah, he's a lumberjack.
and he's
That
okay.
was fine.
we're
It was a
nice.
terrible ending. It was a terrible finale. But I liked New Blood. I just didn't like the fact that they killed him. Just, why go through all the effort to have one final season just to kill him? I never got it. Kill his son. That's
Yeah.
fine. His son was fucked up.
He was such a jerk. I didn't like the actor at all. I never said the word jerk, but he was a jerk. I think it's fitting for teenagers when they're idiots. Jerks.
Such a jerk.
Yeah. 9 chevrons and Gateworld are going to blow up. Gateworld's already blown up. Gateworld's got like 100,000 subscribers. They haven't done a video in years. But hello. But yeah, hopefully SDC. All right, then, guys. I think that covers it. We're all excited.
Very excited.
I literally saw that video and made a whooping noise, and the wife thought I'd hurt myself. Running back in. You're right. I was like, yeah, this guy just said it's definitely happening, and I think we've known it's definitely happening for a while. But
it means something else when it comes from someone who's like been invested in the show, like been in the show, because obviously they've got contacts and stuff, and they've got contacts.
Yeah,
it just means more because it's like that extra bit of credibility.
Well, the thing is as well. I mean, it's like anything in life, isn't it? That you can be, unless you're an idiot, and we always try to, be honest about the rumors that we've got, and that how there are some things I hear that I'm pretty confident with, and there's some things I hear I'm not so confident with. And I'll try to say when I'm not so confident. I'm thinking, this is the rumor. I'll tell you guys because I've been told, but I'm like, but at the end of the day, until this is like a football transfer, until the guy stood there with the shirt, stuff can go wrong. And until it's actually, even when this is greenlit and announced, don't be 100% confident because they greenlit and announced the movie in 2015.
I was about to say that we got burnt before.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't. We got saved before, in hindsight. But
yeah, I think so. So look, and all stuff can always go wrong, but in the meantime, it's exciting. I did 2 videos last week on the same day talking about rumors, and I got a load of messages moaning at me going, "Oh, stop talking about Stargate, you're ruining it." And I'm like, no, because I love talking about it. It's my favorite show.
And we keep talking about it. It's going to come back faster.
Hopefully, yeah, exactly what like David Blue said. The fandom need to be heard by Amazon, So this is all we're trying to do. But actually, there's no. I talk about it because I love talking about it because it's my favorite show. At the end of the day, do videos about stuff I want to talk about. I don't do videos trying to get clicks. I don't do videos trying to, get our numbers up or whatever. I do videos.
That's why we've all just decided to spend an hour of our evenings or mornings in those 2 cases.
Mid-afternoon.
Come on here and talk to 60, 70 odd people because we want to talk about the show we love.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. Not because of anything else, just because it's a show we love and we get excited talking about it. And I will never do a video for clicks. I do a video because it's something I want to talk about or I don't bother. It's just nice at the moment that there's lots going on, so I've got lots to talk about. So, what are you going to do? Anyway, guys, it's been really good. Thank you so much for taking up some of your mid-afternoon, morning, evening to talk about the show we love. We're crossing fingers, crossing toes, crossing everything else that this really is this really is the final stages. It feels like the final stages to me. So let's hope so.
Yeah. Sounds you're encroaching on your premiere right now.
Yeah. Well,
Double
I think it's
family.
already aired on here.
What are you going to do?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
can tell you what it says now, then, can't I? Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you all later. Go and watch the other video. Go watch the other video.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Go watch it and come say howdy.
Awesome. Okay, okay. Oh, yes. Oh, Harris, you're going to go live in a minute, aren't you? I think.
Yeah, like 20. Even
Okay.
the rest of this, and then we're literally talking about what the video is premiering right now. So watch that and come say howdy.
I will do so. Because you never invite me. I've noticed.
Y'all are always invited. I also don't know how
No,
to.
no, because you've never
How do I invite
sent me an
people-
invite.
how do I invite people from YouTube? Is my next question.
Um,
I'm just doing it from the YouTube app.
oh, see, I don't know how to do that from YouTube. I just do it through StreamYard.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I almost signed up for StreamYards yesterday, but I want to do the videos in 4K because I have my 4K camera over here, and StreamYards only goes up to 1080. I'm like, I'd like to pay for
Is
this.
that the free one or the say? Because
Any of
I just use
like,
the free one.
That's what I was going to do, and then I was like, well, I might pay for it, but even like this business plan only does 1080. Like you could be paying $500 a month and still not get even 1260p. It's insane.
There's a bird or something. But yeah, you have to pay for the HD. But I find if I do it in HD and I'm inviting other people, it lags.
That makes sense.
I don't worry about it. But you can definitely do it through YouTube because I remember getting an email telling me. So, but I mean, if ever you're free and you want someone to talk to, I'm there.
I've got 20 minutes to figure out, and then I'll be sending links, y'all.
Okay. All right, mate. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Like I said, go watch the other video and bring on Stargate.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to mute.
See y'all.
There we go.